Well, today, the 1990 Kangaroos are in town for their last dress rehearsal before Saturday's second test. Castleford provide the opposition today at their homely Weldon Road Stadium. Well, hello there. It's a cold and grey Yorkshire day, and it's the last chance that the Australians have of getting things absolutely right before the second showdown with Great Britain at Old Trafford next Saturday. Now, by virtue of the fact that Castleford won the Yorkshire Cup, they are the best side east of the Pennines, and they really will have to be at their best to beat the Kangaroos here today. The tour couldn't have started any better. It was a victory by a record margin against St Helens. Wakefield Trinity, Wigan, Cumbria, they were all swamped, and then Leeds offered a little hope, and at Wembley last Saturday, Great Britain's famous win brought this series to life. Warrington lost in midweek. It was a flattering scoreline, really, but 206 points scored with just 73 against and 40 tries to 12 tells its own story. And this is the side that the Australians have announced for today. Gary Belcher from Canberra is the full-back. Dale Shearer comes into the side, one of 5 changes. Mal Meninga is the captain in the centres, alongside the tall and rangy Mark McGaw. Andrew Ettinghausen, leading try-scorer for the Kangaroos in 5. And then the 6th combination at half-back the Australians have tried. Cliff Lyons wears 6, and Ricky Stewart is in 7. Steve Roach is the prop forward, big man from Balmain. His clubmate Benny Elias comes into the side at hooker. And Canberra's Glenn Lazarus wears 10. Paul Sirenen is in the second row, alongside Bob Lindner, and Brad Mackay from the St George's Club is the loose forward. And the Australian coach, he's made 5 changes, Bobby Fulton. Well, it's a cool, grey day here in Yorkshire, but a big crowd packed into Weldon Road for this match, and among them, plenty of Australians. And this is the side that Castleford will play. St John Ellis is the full-back. An Australian, one of 3 in this Castleford side, Steve Larder on the wing. Sean Irwin back in the centre after a couple of weeks in the second row, alongside Grant Anderson. And David Plange, the winning try-scorer in that Yorkshire Cup final, is in 5. £195,000 worth of standoff half, Graham Steadman. Gary French is the second Australian in this team. He's the scrum half. Lee Crooks, the Australians are always a little frightened of Lee. He wears 8. Kevin Beardmore is the hooker in 9. And Dean Sampson, Great Britain under-21 international, had a summer with the Gold Coast in Australia. He's in 10. Keith Beefy England is in the second row. And the third of the Australian contingent here at Cass, Jeff Hardy. And John Joyner is the veteran. He signed in 1972 for this club, coached by Darrell van der Velde, who completes the Australian contingent here. The Kangaroo in evidence for this match that is the last dress rehearsal for the first choice side before next Saturday. He looks in good form, and I wonder how these boys are, the Australians who are first out onto the paddock here this afternoon. Bob Lindner coming home. He's had 2 spells at Castleford in 1986 and 87, 88. He scored a try in the Yorkshire Cup final in the 12-all draw against Bradford in 1987. And that's Gary Belcher, another former Castleford star. He had a spell here in 1988-89. And there will be a big game expected from this fellow, Cliff Lyons, only his 3rd starting place of the tour. Man of the match, 4 leads against Castleford in the 1988 Yorkshire Cup final. And Canberra, and Castleford rather, out on the pitch. And there's Lee Crooks. We saw on the Sports Channel him having such a great game against Wakefield in the Yorkshire Cup final. And as he has come up against Australian opposition no fewer than 4 times in the past, in 82, 84, 86 and 88, he'll be hoping for another big game here today that could just push his way into Malcolm Reilly's thoughts for the third test. And the Castleford captain, John Joyner, signed on in 1972. He's played in a record number of games for this club, almost 600 now, and he's faced the Australians 5 times in a 16-test career. There's the referee, Jerry Kershaw from Easingwold, 20 years on the first grade list. Not the best view we'll get of Mr. Kershaw all afternoon, I fancy. Mal Meninga, the captain, I think he's won the toss. 9 goals, 4 tries from Big Mal on this tour, and look at him winding his players up. He knows how important this match is, with the test match just now 6 days away. And David Plange, the winger, a speed merchant, looking in good form. So it's Castleford to get this game underway. Graham Steadman will kick off. Now the early touch for Brad Mackay. One of the 5 changes that Bobby Fulton's made here today. Do like to use the strength and power early on, the Australian forwards. Lyons, good ball, Meninga keeps it going. Meninga, Stewart in his best position at scrum half, and he's forced St John Ellis to collect behind his own try line. The Australians have moved up in numbers to pen him back under his own posts. Plange, that'll be quite a collision, I think, between Sirenen and England, the 2 big number 11s. This should be a weighty clash as well. Roach against Crooks. Steadman will kick. And Dale Shearer collects. Good chasing again from Castleford. And the referee's whistle's gone. He's seen that Shearer lost the ball in that tackle to the first scrum of the afternoon. Alongside me, as always, Mike Stevenson. Mike, there's the mistake from Shearer. He won't want to make too many of those today.
Well, I don't know whether it's much of a mistake, but the Castleford player there, Irwin, pulling the ball away, got away with it. But it's an exciting start by the Australians. They certainly mean business.
The second test, just 6 days away. And it's interesting that they've got their 6th half-back combination on show here today. That really does emphasise the fact that the Australians really do miss Mr. Sterling and Mr. Lewis. Castleford won't worry about that. Steadman. Belcher collects. Good chasing. Roach. It took 5 to bring him down, you know. Sirenen.
They're the 2 keys today, Roach and Sirenen. They were very disappointed with their displays at Wembley last weekend.
Crooks almost got it, but the referee wipes the tackle count clear. Lindner has possession for the Australians. This is Roach. Elias from dummy half. Stewart. Neat play. Mackay. Saw Meninga steaming up on his left-hand side. Thought the better of releasing the pass. That's Lazarus. He's got to be playing for a test place next week. Roach. Elias. Same can be said of him. That's the last tackle. Australia decide to run it. Ball bounces back into Stewart's arms. Shearer, there's the bomb. That's a tester. Ball comes back Australia's way. Referee waves play on because Castleford have come up with it. Good play from Steadman. And he's caught Australia offside at the play the ball. Big figure of Mark McGaw, the man, number 4 there in your picture, who was pinned by the referee. Familiar story this tour.
Certainly is, and that was a problem that Wembley has been for the past 4 or 5 games on the Kangaroo Tour. And they're becoming a little bit paranoid about this, and I'm sure it's a worry for the coach, Bobby Fulton. He hasn't got much time to sort it out, though, with Great Britain leading the Test Series 1-0.
Beardmore restarts for Castleford. It's Big Dean Sampson. Crooks first receiver. Joyner, almost setting Hardy clear, but Mackay getting the ball back for the Australians. And a knock-on. If Mr. Kershaw didn't see it, the crowd told him.
That's one of the problems with playing the ball very quickly. The ball was bouncing around there. They tried to get the ball away from the rucks, the Australians. Knock-on resulting.
Castleford possession from the scrum. St. John Ellis always likes to use his speed. It's all a bit untidy. But luckily, England got the possession back again for Castleford. And this is Plange, loves to come forward like that. Good play from Crooks. Great play from Crooks. Joyner, Beardmore in support. Lee Crooks driving a big hole down the middle for Castleford. Steadman. Irwin, long pass out to that far side. Good kick. Didn't quite have the angle, but it won't run dead. Oh, that's good play, though, from Shearer. And this is good chasing from Castleford. Elias on the blind side. Tackle not completed, and again another one missed. Meninga. Stewart. It's a good tackling stint this from Castleford. They're keeping the Australians pinned back in their own 22. Belcher now with the kick. St. John Ellis underneath it for Castleford. A winger converted to a fullback. St. John Ellis. And there's the fullback turned winger, Steve Larder. Little kick over the top from French. He looked as though he was impeded. The ball's bounced kindly for him, but Belcher does well. Good run, Elias. I think the hooking spot is open to some question. Will it be Kerrod Walters? Will it be Benny Elias? Elias is out to claim it for himself today for that second test next Saturday.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. If Elias puts in a big one today, he'll be in that second test lineup.
Good ball from Stewart. Finds Mackay. Mackay has got support out there. He might not need them. He brings him back inside. Ettinghausen's in. Great try again from Ettinghausen. Try number 7. From the man they call E.T. And that was all created in midfield. And in the end, the Castleford line just opened up.
Beautiful pass by Stewart. Set the ball through for Mackay. Beautiful dummy. Took the inside step. Had the fullback all at sea. And that's great play by a wingman coming right into the centre and backing up the man in possession. Here you see Mackay. Throws a dummy. Half slips, half steps inside, and this is what rugby league is all about, the support play. And that is great play by E.T. Wonderful 4-pointer.
Andrew Ettinghausen, his 7th try then on this tour, and we've been playing just 8 3/4 minutes exactly. And the Australians have taken the lead. And Meninga has this kick to add the extra 2. And makes no mistake this time. Mal Meninga, his 10th goal of the tour. And the Australians are ahead by 6 points to 0.
Quite obviously, Eddie, that this Australian side, they want a lot of points today. They want to try to build their confidence for the second test. That gives you some indication when you get the right winger coming right onto the left-hand side to back up and score the try.
Yes, great play from the Australians, making their first visit to Weldon Road since 1973, when they won here 18 points to 10. But Castleford can take heart from the fact that they are the last Yorkshire side to beat the Australians. Back in 1967, they won 22 points to 3. And a certain Malcolm Reilly was in that Castleford side at lock forward. Australia, though, with a penalty here for offside. Stewart finds touch. Lazarus drops it. And Jeff Hardy gets the possession back, surprisingly, for Castleford. Crooks, Beardmore, England, French. And that's Sean Irwin. French's kick was charged down, or attempted to be charged down. So Shearer will have some work to do here to get out of trouble. And he gets out of trouble fairly well. Things play back to the halfway line. Lazarus taking over that number 10 jersey from Martin Bella. Roach, who almost slipped it out to the back to Ettinghausen. Remember, 2 tries from Ettinghausen on this tour already. He's off the mark here today. Meninga, Belcher, great play. The knock on. Referee said no, waves play on. It's the last tackle. Expect the bomb, and then here Stewart with the high kick. That's a tester for St. John Ellis and for Larder. St. John Ellis is underneath it, takes it well. And that means that St. John Ellis catching it here on the full behind his own try line. The game will restart with a tap on the Castleford 22. And it will restart again now because Australia have been penalised.
Plenty of confidence there from the fullback Ellis. Eye on the ball at all time. Didn't worry about the defensive play by Australia coming into him.
And that's a great penalty. It's forced Australia back almost to their own 22. Their coach, Bobby Fulton, is watching this game high up in the stands. There he is, right on the back row with the cap on. And he's watching his men from a very good vantage point. But he's seeing a great run here from Jeff Hardy. And good cover defence from Lyons and Belcher. England drops it. Knock on.
Disappointing there from the Castleford side. Here you see it. It wasn't the best of passes. But Castleford have shown on a couple of occasions that this very quick, short ball, just wide of the ruck, with the support coming through very quickly, is finding those gaps against the Australian defence.
Penalty at the scrum to Australia.
Well, that's an unusual one. You don't see that very often. The hooker actually being penalised for feet across.
Stewart with this penalty. Finds touch. Mike, just a word about Bob Fulton watching up there in the stands. Why do the Australian coaches like to get high up in the stands here to watch the game and not down in the dugout like the British counterparts do?
Well, with modern technology, they can get a message down to the sidelines, but when they're pretty high, they can see the defensive patterns of Castleford or any team that they're playing against. So therefore, it can send out the messages and inform them that the fullback is perhaps out of position at times and so on and so forth.
He's watching Suriname having in a brave run against Lee Crooks and Gary French. This is Stewart. Lyons. Oh, great play from Cliff Lyons. Oh, but he drops it. And he'll be annoyed with that. Wasn't too happy at Wembley last Saturday that his countrymen had lost that first test. He looks as though he has the appetite, Mike.
Certainly does, and he was really, really upset. Not just a little, a lot.
Oh, ball spills. Mackay swoops on it. Not the place to surrender possession to the Australians. Lindner. He knows this ground well from his 2 spells at Cass. Elias, Stewart, Lyons. We've got 5 men out wide. One of them's McGaw, another one is Meninga. Quarter of an hour of this first half gone. Australia on the charge here and leading 6-0. Belcher, great take from Belcher. And that was another try. Had McGaw held on. He didn't. And so Castleford can restart with a tap on their own 22. Taken quickly. Good thinking, Larder. But he's dropped it. Plenty of errors in the opening quarter of an hour here. The count, Australia have made 5, Castleford 4.
Well, that may have been good thinking in the beginning, but really that's just a wasted chance. He had no support.
Australia with possession from the scrum. McGaw. Big, powerful centre. He's got the build of a forward. He runs like the wind. Lindner. Elias from dummy half. Impressed with him already today. Roach. Belcher again. Little kick ahead for McGaw. The ball's bounced off a Castleford arm. Referee says, though, offside, I think. Penalty to Castleford.
Well, you see here Belcher putting it through and McGaw just appearing in the picture. Can't believe it. It would have been an easy try, but I think on that occasion the referee, perfectly correct, McGaw just stole an extra yard in front of the kicker.
Castleford are playing most of this spell inside their own half of the field. They won't be too happy about that.
It's also looking very ominous with their defence, Eddie. They're allowing Australia to come to them rather than the defence moving up and forcing them back.
Crooks. Well, he will never ever take a backward step, Lee Crooks. Stedman. They're not making any progress, though, Castleford. French with the kick. It's the only way he thinks to relieve the pressure. Good take. Oh, and luckily for Australia, Belcher was there. The referee waves play on. The move still hasn't broken down. They've got 6 more now, Castleford. But Belcher was in the right place at the right time then. Here's Crooks. That's Jeff Hardy. Beardmore from dummy half. Crooks again, seen lots of the ball already, Crooks. Stedman. French. England going alone. Beardmore providing the help. The tackle coming in from Lindner. Joyner. Great play, Joyner. Sampson! This is going to be a try, is it? No. Maybe. Carried on. Great defence again from Australia. The gap opened up, and in a second, it was closed.
Well, that was bad luck for the Castleford side. For once, they did support the man with the ball. And that was a lovely dummy by their skipper, Joyner.
So near for Castleford, yet so far. The difference, Mike, obvious for all to see. Whenever Australia get the ball, they're making 10, 15 metres.
Well, they get over the advantage line every time they get the ball. There you see Siren, and that's a typical example I was saying in regards to Castleford. Oh!
But here we are. This is Lada, who's pinched it. And the Australians perhaps a bit too cocky. There must be 6 more here. That was an Australian boot. Stedman now. Going down the middle. That's a good run from Stedman. Good tackling from McGaw. Yes, referee says it's 6 more. England. Australian player is prone. Play continues though. Crooks almost through. Hardy from dummy half. This is Castleford's best chance. Joyner, kick over the top for Lada to chase. But an Australian hand got to it and knocked it dead.
Good play by Joyner here. Take the option. And this is always a problem to the Australians, the little kick. But Shearer equal to the task. That's good thinking.
John Joyner over 600 games for the club as Mark McGaw receives treatment. He was the man injured in that movement. And he doesn't look too healthy at the moment. And there's Darrell van der Velde with his walkie-talkie. He too watching from the stands by the looks of things. And there's Glenn Lazarus, who was another injured player in that good Castleford movement. He's being led off. Meanwhile, Castleford trying to turn the advantage their way. French, good tackling Stewart. Swarming round the man with the ball. By the looks of things, Lazarus is going to play no further part in this match. Bella is warming up. The man, ironically, he replaced today. Offside against Benny Elias at the play of the ball. The Tour vice-captain disagrees. And so I think does Steve Roach, who's having his 4-penneth. But here comes Martin Bella. He's into the action. There he is, number 16. And my word, that's the reason why. Lazarus with a nasty gash to his head just above the left eye. And what's the phrase they use in Aussie, Mike? A touch of claret.
A lot of claret there. And there you saw the doctor, Nathan Gibbs, I'm sure looking for the needle. It looked very bad indeed. With plenty of stitches in that one. And that's a bitter blow to the Australian Lazarus.
Castleford have got Andy Clark stripped on the bench as Crooks comes up for this penalty attempt. The kicking of Lee Crooks is sure. 31st goal of the season for the big man. How he'd love to get in the 3rd Test squad for Great Britain. Castleford 2, the Australian 6, and on my watch, well, midway through this first half. Greg Alexander warming up. It's all changed in the first half here. Looks like he's coming on.
It wouldn't surprise me, Eddie, if Fulton wants to take McGaw off, not take the chance. I don't know whether they collided, but he certainly is looking a little bit groggy. It looks like Alexander may come on straight away.
I must say, it's not bad when you can lose a player like Lazarus and replace him with Bella, and a player like McGaw and replace him with Alexander.
Well, I'm sure this Castleford crowd will be eagerly looking forward to Alexander because he has been the star of this tour so far.
Here's Castleford's own star, though. That's a great run from Graham Stedman. Crooks. Good pass from Crooks. Hardy, that wasn't a terribly good pass from Hardy, but luckily for him, I was going to say that Castleford retained possession. The referee's whistle's gone, though. Steve Larder just couldn't get to it. And as predicted, McGaw goes off. And Alexander is on. Well, there's been a real flurry of substitutions from both benches. And we can have a word now with Peter Hutton, who's down there, cocking a snook on the two trainers' benches, Australia and Castleford. Peter?
Well, the news is on the two players that Mark McGaw's medial knee ligaments have gone. They're a bit worried about that one, and they say that Glenn Lazarus will need about 20 stitches in the cut. It's that deep, just above his eye.
Well, two bad injuries for the Australians. Meanwhile, here is Belcher. Ligament damage for Lazarus. That could put him out of the second test.
Yes, it's going to be a bitter blow for Fulton. Things certainly not going his way. He's looking down the barrel, of course, being one down in the test series. And it really is up to the players out there now, Meninga, to really get them going.
Good catch under his own post from St. John Ellis, meanwhile.
They're going to need all the confidence boost they can get now.
Oh, and the ball is dropped there by Grant Anderson, and it couldn't have been in a worse situation. Elias the hooker for Australia. An important scrum here then, with the Australians just 2 meters away from the Castleford line. If ever a moment Castleford need to get one against the head, this is it. But with feeding like that from Stewart, they won't. Lyons, Belcher. Belcher's in, is he? No, he isn't. But offside against Gary French.
No doubt about this. Belcher knew he couldn't make the line, tried to flick it out blind to Ettinghausen there, but was knocked down. No option. Definitely offside.
And the Australians deciding to run it and give themselves a little more space. Actually kick that penalty backwards. Bella. Good tackling Sampson and Beardmore. They'll have to work overtime here, the Castleford defence. Stewart. Lyons. Belcher. Shearer. Drops it. Errors for all to see here today. The Australians, to my mind, haven't got it right, Mike.
They certainly haven't. The cohesion has definitely gone. And the confidence, well, they started out in the first 10 minutes. I thought they'd got back into the old routine. But they've slipped back into having no respect for possession at all. And that movement there just indicated that the players had no idea what was going on.
It was their 9th handling error of this first half. They made plenty in the rain at Warrington on Wednesday. We excuse them because of the conditions. It's bone dry here today. Stedman's kick doesn't find touch. Belcher didn't really get going. That's another feature of this tour, you know. They haven't really been able to come to terms with the lush English pastures they're playing on. They do tend to slip and slide, don't they?
Didn't seem to affect him the last 2 tours.
Elias. That's the last tackle. Castleford have managed to keep the Aussies in their own half. Stewart's kick. St. John Ellis collects. Look at the wall of green and gold jerseys he faced. Larder all wrapped up by Lyons. And Elias pushing him back, and the ball's gone free. Big mistake by Larder. Bella. Stewart. That's how close they are, the Australians. Meninga from acting halfback, going on his own, using his power. Castleford's 4, pushing him back. Stewart from dummy half, Elias. Roach, going nowhere, Roach. Elias has kept the move going. Good play from the hooker. That's a great pass. That's a wonderful pass to Lindner. And Lindner, the former Castleford man, to the boos of the locals here at Weldon Road, increases the Australians' lead still further. But what a wonderful pass from Benny Elias. There he is, number 9. Gave it to the big man Lindner, and Lindner in the end had a stroll in.
Good player here. The run round. Roach throws a dummy. Elias is there to take it. Castleford defence kept off him. You can't do that with this man. He's got so much class. Beautiful inside ball to Lindner. And you could sense Lindner waiting for that. He took the option. Now here's Roach. He looked as though he'd taken the bad one. Elias takes it on. Now look how Castleford hang off. The defence should have moved forward. And that's the reason why no one came anywhere near Bobby Lindner. Good try. Different angle. He's not classed as one of the world's greatest for nothing. He made sure of the ball, the pass, everything was good. Good support play. And for once, Australia have got it together.
Yes, that was a fine try. And now Meninga with the easy conversion, and it's 2 more. Meninga hasn't had a difficult shot at goal yet, and Australia have increased the lead to 10 points. Paul Fletcher is about to come into the action for Castleford, and Larder is the man he's replaced.
Well, that's a type of play that Bobby Fulton would have been looking for. They certainly have lost a spark over the last 3 games. And Benny Elias looks like he's the man to bring it back to the Kangaroos.
That's Paul Fletcher in the scrum cap that you saw. And it looks to me as though St. John Ellis has gone up onto the wing, and Fletcher is now operating at full back. We've had half an hour's play. The Australians ahead 12-2. Siranen driving down the middle. Pace, power and muscle are the 3 best adjectives to describe that fellow. Here's the first touch for Fletcher. He spilled the ball. Too many errors against the Australians cost you dearly. I must say, they look in the mood, the Aussies, today. They have done since they came out. The very first whistle, they've looked fluent and fluid. Bella, Meninga, big gap for Meninga. You can't give him space like that, easy. Shearer, a great try under the black dot. And that's Shearer's 4th try of this tour. And the Castleford crowd just a little quiet. And the Australians who've come over here enjoying what they're seeing here.
Well, once again, we see the option where the Castleford defence hold him back. Beautiful ball by Meninga inside to Shearer, but really an easy try. They had the numbers out wide. Bella set the big fellow going. You'll notice there's no defence moving up to him, no pressure. All he has to do is draw the full back. A very simple try indeed. And that will have given the skipper a lot of confidence. He too has been struggling over the last 2 games.
For Dale Shearer, who knows all about playing in this country. Smile from him, no wonder. That was the easiest try he's probably scored all tour. Meninga then, setting his sights, easy, in front of the sticks. 3 successful kicks from the big man today. His goal tally now is 12. It's looking more respectable. From a Castleford point of view, that score isn't respectable. 2-18 in Australia's favour. And the Castleford coach, Darrell van der Velde, can't be happy with what he's seen. Apparently he said in the programme notes, Darrell van der Velde, that it's war today. I think he'll have a green and gold jersey on next Saturday at Old Trafford somehow.
But even so, Eddie, you would be far from impressed by his Castleford side today.
Lions. It's good to watch when the Australians are in this mood. That's Alexander, number 14. He's figured in every game, but he didn't actually get onto the field at Wigan. Stewart misses out Sirenen, goes on his own. Ball spilled.
Bit of overconfidence there from Roach. Tried to get round the man with the ball. But you sense it now that this Australian side, they know that they've got the Castleford side matched. They know that the defence is not coming to them quickly enough. And I think we're in for a feast of football.
Castleford can play their part, though. They've got close to the line on a couple of occasions. Just haven't had the last pass that would open the door. Australia have seen the ball 3 minutes longer than Castleford. And they're back in possession again here with 5 minutes to go in this first half. Bella, the man in possession for Australia. Now it's with Elias, and now Sirenen. Mackay. The thing that's impressive about the Australians today, they're all on the move, they're all looking round, they're all looking keen. This is Lyons, kick over the top one for Ettinghausen to chase. Bounces kindly for Fletcher, the substitute. Nothing too kind about those chasing Australians. Lyons, he's got plans, and there's Bob Fulton. He's come down onto the bench now. Watching from ground level, watching a good run from Fletcher.
Well, that shows you how concerned the Australian coach is. He wants to get the message out very, very quickly, and that is to get the ball out wide. He'll realise that this Castleford defence is not putting them under pressure. Quick play the ball, a long ball out wide, and the tries should result.
Stedman's kick. Ettinghausen collects. Now with Belcher. Tackling though from Castleford. He never looks happy, does he, Bobby Fulton, when he's watching his team in action?
No, he always looks as though he's lost his lunch play money, doesn't he?
Roach. Good supporting play from Ricky Stewart. Disappointed in Stewart at Wembley last week, but he's in his more accustomed role today. Lyons, deep one for Fletcher to collect. St. Ellis. He just can't break through that Australian defence. Crowd appealing to the referee to penalise the Aussies for offside. Crooks. Thumping tackle from Sirenen. Mr. Kershaw under a bit of pressure from the Castleford crowd. Joyner. That's a good ball. Anderson just couldn't, again, get away from the man who was covering him. Stedman. Stedman's led the charge. Stewart and Lyons. The word from the Australian camp is that Laurie Daly should be fit for the second test against Great Britain next Saturday. The Cliff Lyons in possession there, putting in a big display to remind Bob Fulton he is on this tour.
Well, quite a lot of people, of course, thought that Fulton had made a very bad mistake by bringing in Stewart, normally a halfback, into the 5'8" position. And taking that gamble with Lyons there waiting to play.
St. John Ellis for Australia, and the man in number 7, Ricky Stewart. Maybe he fancies his chances at scrum half next week. Sampson now, a bit of space for Sampson. He just managed to hold on to that under pressure from Benny Elias. Gary French, Lee Crooks slips.
It's just sad for the Castleford point of view. They are making that half break, but the second phase of attack is not there. They just have not got that backup that Australia bring out all the games.
And of course, as they're trying to keep the ball alive, they lose possession. But there's the half-time siren, and Castleford have got a real job on their hands here. They trailed by 18 points to 2 at half-time. Is there any comeback for them? Well, we'll see in the second half. Welcome back to Weldon Road. Half-time score, Castleford 2, Australia 18. The Australians leading by 3 converted tries to a Lee Crooks penalty. So is there any way back for Castleford in this second half? We shall see, as Mal Meninga gets the second 40 minutes underway. Stewart quickly into the tackle on Fletcher. Fletcher unhappy with the way the tackle was completed. If Australia score early here, there are 1 or 2 people in this pictured up for Castleford, and French does likewise. Beardmore from dummy half, Sampson. Of course, if Castleford score early on, well, we'll have a real match on our hands. Crooks, impressive in that first half. Risky pass. Fletcher. Stedman, French, Castleford standing still. This is Jeff Hardy. Sampson. That's the last tackle. French gives it to Joyner. Ellis. A high bomb for Belcher. Catches it on the full. Australia will restart with a tap from their own 22. St. John Ellis with the kick ahead. Bella taking the ball down the centre for the Australians. And there's Paul Fletcher, number 14. It's his home debut today for Castleford. Meanwhile, an Castleford player is laid out on the field, and the touch judge is on. Both of them.
It's Benny Elias who will be called out.
And it's Dean Sampson who is knocked out. And a penalty to Castleford. And this is perhaps the reason why, Mike.
Yes, well, after the play of the ball there, you see Elias trying to shake his leg away. The touch judge deemed that it was a dangerous kick, resulting in the penalty to Castleford.
So Castleford now inside the Australians' 22. 1 or 2 half breaks in that first half. Can they break the line here? Crooks. Joyner. Hardy. The Australian defence holding firm. Crooks. Now he can break through and use his weight and size. Who's got the ball? I think Castleford have. Steadman, quite alert. Irwin. That looked a high tackle from Ricky Stewart. Referee has agreed, the whistle's gone. And I don't think Irwin was too happy with that tackle from Stewart either.
Well, it certainly was a high tackle, but that was stupid by Irwin. Both the touch judges and the referee were stood over him. No trying and point, trying to be tough when everybody else is there. And Stewart getting a real lecture from referee Kershaw. There it is, it was high. Doesn't have to be as hard. If it's high, it's still a penalty.
So Castleford have 6 more, and they're 10 metres short. Crooks. Always looking to break the line, Crooks. Good run. Very French. The Australians working overtime to keep Castleford out. Joyner, Crooks again. Now Irwin once more. Ball's gone to ground. Surinam slipped and missed it. Castleford retained possession, courtesy of Grant Anderson. Joyner. This time, Castleford can't keep hold, and Meninga picks up for the Australians.
Well, referee Kershaw has been very lenient throughout the game for reefing the ball away from the man carrying it. A lot of times, and a lot of other referees would have been giving the penalties away, but today, he's turned a blind eye.
Here come the Australians again then. Castleford will want to keep them down that end if they possibly can. Well, Castleford Steve Larder is playing no further part in this match, substituted in the first half. He's talking on the trainer's bench to Peter Hutton.
Well, Steve, quite frustrating for you so far. Plenty of territory, but not a lot of tries.
Yeah, we seem to have had an even amount of the ground in the game, but we make an error in our own quarter. They get the ball and they score. You know, that's been we've made the breaks. We just haven't had the support to capitalise on them.
Was that the message of the coach at half-time to tighten up?
Yeah, we've just got to watch our ball control. And you know, when we have got in Australia's quarter, we have put a lot of pressure on them. You know, and gone close to scoring. And you know, the message is just kick, you know, and chase, and hopefully wait for a bit of an error. Then we'll get the ball in their quarter and hopefully go over for a couple.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Okay, mate. No worries.
Steve Larder. Good Castleford accent. But while he was talking, the Australians really did put a bit of pressure on. Unfortunately for Castleford, they couldn't cling on to the ball. So from the scrum, Castleford have possession again. Here's Fletcher. Again, another error.
Well, there you see the difference in defensive attitudes. See the Australians pushing Castleford back. And, of course, that always applies pressure. He took the eye off the ball, looking at the man instead, resulting knock-on.
And Castleford have now gone ahead in the handling errors count. Well, one statistic has it at 12 all. We think it's maybe 14-12. Here come the Australians again. Meninga. Stewart. Had to try and hurdle David Plange if he could, and couldn't. Lindner, the acting half. This is Lyons. McGaw is injured. Mike Stevenson, and we'll bring him in on that in a moment, thinks that Lyons might be in the test side next weekend. Meanwhile, that breaks down. Referee remarkably allows play to go on. Or has he? No. The whistle has gone. St. John thought otherwise.
Well, here we see Meninga here and the ball there, and it was definitely knocked on. No doubt about that. Ellis may look in disbelief, but he won't get away with that one.
Australians get possession from the scrum. This is Belcher. Shearer from dummy half. Lindner on the charge. 10 metres short. Roach and Siranen. They're not going to stop Siranen, are they? They are. And he's really close to the line. And Castleford are working overtime here to keep the Australians out. Lyons from dummy half. Elias. Mackay. Good tackling, Castleford. That's the last tackle. Elias. The bomb to test young Paul Fletcher. Shearer gets it. Now it's with Alexander. Another bomb. And Fletcher comes away with it. Good running from Hardy, that. Van der Velde shuddering to himself. Again, another error. The Australians have got players over here. Meninga is one of them, and Meninga is going to score right behind the posts. Mal Meninga's 5th try on this tour. He's the leading point scorer for Australia. The captain has a big smile, a shrug of the shoulders. This is the reason why.
Well, Clifford Lyons here nearly blew this one. He took the option to turn back inside. As it happened, the Castleford defence took the dummy, went right out towards the corner. Now this is where the ball spilled. Roach picks it up. Now Lyons should have gone for the corner. He had outside him. Meninga couldn't believe it. He was running out of space. A quick ball back inside. There was no one there. A very simple try indeed. And they don't really need gifts, Australia. And when Castleford keep dropping the ball like that, it really is Christmas time for the Kangaroos.
And Meninga, who scored the 4, looking now to make it 6 as the conference goes on. Underneath the posts, John Joyner in the number 13 jersey, the Castleford captain, not happy. And no wonder, there's another 2 for Mal Meninga. And so the Australians have increased the lead. The difference between the two sides now 22 points. Let's just pick up on that half-back situation for the Australians as number 17 Andy Clark prefers to come into the action for Castleford, Mike. A feeling that perhaps Bobby Fulton will have to play Lyons at half-back, particularly if McGaw has got ligament damage today, and he'll probably then have to play Daly in the centres.
Well, Daly was originally a centre in his early part of the career. They were trying to groom him into the 5'8" spot to take over the Wally Lewis position. But as you say, with McGaw badly injured, and it looks as though it is a bad injury, he'll be out of the second test. He'll go for Stewart at halfback, I think, in front of Langer, and go for Lyons. They played all right today, and they'll move Daly into the centre spot.
We'll know, of course, later in the week when the Kangaroos name their side. Their next stop for them, though, Halifax on Tuesday evening. Men from the second division watching this, no doubt, and hoping that they can turn the match against the midweek side their way. Great Britain's team, by the way, will be announced tomorrow. And all roads will lead to Old Trafford next Saturday. Here's Fletcher. 12.5 minutes of this second half gone. Australians well in command.
I think also that Fulton will opt for Benny Elias in the hooking role, and that the way that he's... Oh!
That's a great break from French. Oh, but they just popped the ball up into the arms of Shearer. And Jeff Hardy, the guilty party there. Maybe he heard a call out on that far side. Darryl van der Velde doesn't smile much, and he certainly won't be smiling at that. It was such an easy pass to the wing. I wonder whether he heard a call and perhaps got it wrong.
It happens all the time. But getting back to the fact that in the second half, Lyons has started to take control out there for the Australians. And that is a significant improvement, because they really have lacked someone to take control of the games.
Elias finds Stewart. Kick ahead from Stewart. Well picked up by Fletcher on his home debut, remember. That's a good run and great ball to Plange. Not seen too much of the winger David Plange. Sampson. And they've stolen the ball, and this time the referee, I think, spotted it. It's a penalty to Castleford.
Well, it's about time. You see here, it's been going on all day from both sides. Referee Kershaw deciding he's had enough.
The Cliff Lions penalised, and the penalty count now 7-3 in Castleford's favour, as England takes up the charge for Castleford, looking for support, but all bar one of his teammates are strolling round on the 22. French was the man in support. Erwin finds Steadman. If anyone can unlock this Kangaroo's defence, Steadman can, but he's gone wide out to Plange on that left-hand touchline. And whenever the Castleford player receives the ball, there really are few options open to him. Crooks, that's a better ball. And the referee wipes the tackle count clean. It was an Australian arm that got in the way. So Castleford have 6 more here. Joyner. Beardmore was steaming up in support on his right-hand side. Joyner just couldn't get the ball out to him. Knock on, though. Castleford's Joyner, I think, is saying that he was impeded at the play of the ball here.
Well, the crowd seemed to think so, but as you see on the replay, there was no pressure applied, nobody impeded. It was just bad play. Once again, taking your eye off that football.
Quarter of an hour of this second half gone. 24 points to 2, the Australians lead. Mackay with the possession from the scrum. Martin Bella. Crooks really thundered into Martin Bella then. Siranen. Always men in support for the Australians, all the time. Crooks and Joyner doing well, and there's a punch-up between the 2 number 8s, Roach and Crooks. Stewart trying to be the peacemaker, keeping the Castleford players out of it. 2 big competitors, Stevie Roach and Lee Crooks. And Bella is pointing a finger at Lee Crooks. He really does get under the Australian skin, doesn't he, the big man?
He certainly does, but I don't think Mike Tyson has got anything to worry about with the way those 2 went at it. Plenty of aggression, but I don't think either one of them made contact.
And remarkably, Crooks and Roach were once teammates at Balmain.
Lovely game, isn't it?
Not teammates today, though, on the opposite sides of the divide. Here it is again.
Well, there you can see Crooks going in. He wasn't sending him a birthday present, that's for sure. Roach took, well, exception to it. Here it goes. I think Roach just won on points on that one. But I very much doubt anyone was seriously injured, apart from maybe the ego.
And Australia have a penalty as a result of all that. A decision from Mr. Kershaw that didn't please the crowd. And certainly wouldn't have pleased Lee Crooks. 7-4 in Castleford's favour then, the penalty count. Elias clapping his hands, wanting to get on with it. There they are again. And the referee, Mr. Kershaw, really will have to get in between these 2. Otherwise, things could degenerate into a bit of a shambles.
Well, it was always going to be on. I referred to the ego bit. It was obvious that Roach was going to take the ball up, and it was obvious the man that he was going to run at And there he is on the screen. Here's Roach bullocking towards it. And there we see Crooks saying pat a cake once or twice. And they're not singing to each other. That is for sure. Referee Kershaw right on the spot. And he has to be, especially in the next 5 minutes or so.
Lee Crooks' furrowed brow. Australia in possession. Bella will take no prisoners in a situation like this. And the referee has given a penalty now to Castleford. And Bella has a word with Mr. Kershaw. And Mr. Kershaw doesn't like what he hears, and so he goes back 10 more metres.
Well, here we see the replay. Bella coming in. And as the guys converge on him, he's shouting to the referee. And you'll see him get up and say quite a few words. Elias had something to say as well. Let's get some football action, fellas.
High tackle by Mackay on French. French stays down. Mr. Kershaw's going to have to act here.
Well, it was high. Definitely high, but I think there's a little bit of play acting going on there.
I'm sure you're right, but the referee must spot that. And he spotted that knock on by Lee Crooks. And Crooks has lost his boot in all that. And Roach and Crooks are having a real old conversation with each other out there. Well, it's a penalty to Castleford as a result of all that. It looked as though Crooks had dropped the ball at one stage. But St. John Ellis found touch. Midway through this second half. Offside at the restart. So Castleford now just a metre or two away. Fletcher. I think things are warming up out there. Certainly one or two teeth are being gritted. Sampson. Good run. Keith England.
Well, that's what we've seen a lot of today from Castleford, that half break, but really the support play hasn't been there.
Joyner. Fourth there this time, but so is the Australian defence. Mackay and Lyons on Jeff Hardy. Beardmore to French. Here they come again, Castleford. That's Sean Irwin. Offside again. Mr. Kershaw pinning the Australians offside at the play of the ball, like so many of his colleagues have this tour. And of course, Monsieur Sablereau did exactly that at Wembley last Saturday and incurred the wrath of the Australians. And Darrell van der Velde has made a substitution. Lee Crooks is going off, probably to take the heat out of the situation. And Andy Clark, number 17, comes on. So Crooks, who's been getting involved in a couple of fisticuffs, takes no further part today. And Darrell van der Velde has taken the heat right out of what could have been a situation that reached boiling point.
Well, that was very clever play by the coach, because he... Oh!
Elias picks up. Hasn't got the pace Shearer has. You were saying, Mike?
Well, I'm just saying that the coach, it was sensible thinking. The game's gone. Only the egos are going to be, well, knocked down a peg or two. And he's got to look towards Crooks to do a job for the rest of the season and not just for the next 20 minutes.
It was keeping us warm, though, Mike.
I'm sure there's quite a few forwards on the Australian side, though, would be very, very happy to see Mr. Crooks leave the field.
Ben Elias. We need a replacement ball. That penalty has been deposited out behind the stands here. Referee holds the clock up.
Well, this is another way of calming things down.
It was Meninga's penalty, though. There is the Castleford coach, Darrell van der Velde. Good decision from him to take Crooks off and settle things down. Having said that, Crooks arguably Castleford's best player in the hour or so that he was on.
Certainly was. He did some very good some play, especially in the forwards, and touch judge in again.
It was a kick out, I think, while Dale Shearer was on the floor that resulted in a penalty here for Castleford. And the officials really are having to watch like hawks here.
Well, you'll see here that Shearer not too happy with things. That was silly. See again. That is stupid play.
I think a Castleford boot was on the Shearer calf at one stage there, and he obviously not too happy about that. Well, back to the rugby. Beardmore. Still Beardmore. Joyner organising from dummy half. French and Steadman. Will break Steadman. Just out Steadman. Australia. Now, the crowd are appealing for a try. Referee says no. Australia, although they're so far ahead, they've been caught offside at the play the ball again. They really do die for each other on the touchline. And Shearer has got 10 minutes in the sin bin for persistently going offside at the play the ball.
Well, we mentioned it in previous matches that referees haven't been doing it correctly. This time, Kershaw said, yes, take a little bit of a rest, son. That was a professional foul, and it could be a try.
Sampson using his weight. We've got a quarter of an hour of this match left. The Australians don't want to concede a try. Castleford would love one. French. The kick ahead, Joyner gets a pass out to Plange, he scores! David Plange did it in the Yorkshire Cup final on the Sports Channel. He scored again here today. And Steve Roach isn't too happy with that, but David Plange would be delighted.
Great play here by Castleford. And a beautiful inside ball to the skipper Joyner. Long ball out wide. And the Australian wingman, Andrew Ettingshausen, caught all at sea. It come in, lovely flick inside. There's the skipper Joyner, missing the man out. And E.T., he was in another planet, in for a try.
And that's David Plange's 8th try in his last 7 games. So he's in a rich vein of scoring form, is the Castleford winger. And not even that would bring a smile to Darrell van der Velde's face.
That was just reward as well from the skipper Joyner. Just like Crooks throughout this game, he's created a lot of gaps.
And a little bit of luck goes Castleford's way. Graham Steadman's conversion slipping over via the post, and that gives the scoreline a bit more respectability.
Only Heidegger can do this.
Fletcher in the scrum cap, he's got a lot of appetite left by the looks of things, clapping his hands. England will never take a backward step. Look at Elias trying to reef the ball from the man again.
Here's the man who's replaced Crooks. That's Andy Clark. It was a good ball too. Stirranen is hanging on to Beardmore, not letting him regain his feet. Now he has. Here come Castleford again. Fletcher. Bench's kick. Misses Belcher. It's not going to run dead. That's good play from both sides. Good, brave tackle from Anderson and a good run from behind his own try line from Belcher.
Some excellent play there by Castleford. They really haven't thrown the towel in here. The Aussies know they're in a hard game. And remember, this could be the test lineup.
Nothing to frighten Malcolm, really, and the British boys here yet. One up in the series. A win next Saturday. And the Ashes will be at home for the first time in 20 years. And then it'll be look out Manchester. It was look out London last Saturday. Long way to go, of course. But the Aussies, as Mike Stevenson said earlier, looking down the barrel of a gun next Saturday. And Castleford not finished here yet. England and Stirranen collide. Felt that up here. John Cartwright is about to be introduced to the action by the looks.
Interesting to note as well, Eddie, that since the fracas, when a few of the players started talking to each other rather than playing football, it's been Castleford that's taken on the supremacy.
And that's a great run from David Plange, stopped only by Cliff Lyons. Joyner, who created the try. Beardmore. Forward pass. And as it was on the sixth tackle, it's the turnover. I think it was forward, just. Referee had no doubts anyway. Bella. Ten minutes to go. Stewart. Lovely kick over the top. Kind bounce. Belcher. Gone round Fletcher. Oh, well tackled. Well brought down by Steadman. Aussie still haven't finished though. Lyons, Ettinghausen. Tragedy for Steadman, that. Steadman made the chase. Ettinghausen's second try of the match, number 8 on tour. And it was all created by Ricky Stewart.
Beautiful play by Stewart. You read that there was no sweeper there. Onto Belcher. And Steadman coming in. Belcher thought he had the speed. Great defence there. Was he held down? Referee says no. And this is a gift for E.T. He let one in just 5 minutes ago at the other end. There you see Steadman just ankle tapping Belcher. It's whether the referee decided that Belcher was held. Was there a Castleford hand on the man? If so, it was tackled. Referee said no, and that's an easy 4-pointer for the man they call E.T.
Andrew Ettinghausen, a couple of spells at Leeds when he played against Cass in the 88 Yorkshire Cup final. It's 8 tries on tour for the Cronulla winger, and he's having a magnificent tour. And Mal Meninga with this conversion attempt, and the first one he's missed all afternoon. The gap's 20 points again. And on our watch, we've got now less than 8 minutes to go. As John Cartwright comes on, and Steve Roach, the other contender for the Fight of the Year award with Lee Crooks, he goes off. Ball spills out. Elias keeps it going. Ettinghausen, 2 hat-tricks on this tour so far. He's on a 3rd today. Still plenty of time for him to get it too. Remarkable when you think he came into the first match at St Helens because of an injury to Dale Shearer. Sirenen, a driving run down the middle. Elias, I think he's done enough to cement the hooking job at Old Trafford next Saturday. Lyons, maybe he's the half-back combination with Stewart. We shall see. Alexander. Stewart pointing a finger accusingly at St John Ellis.
Well, here we see Alexander getting the ball back inside. Stewart never really had it. He objected to that. Didn't punch, just pointed.
But he objected a little bit too loudly because a penalty has been given to Castleford for talking.
And full credit to Castleford in the second half. It looked as though the game was going to be running away. The Australians, and really what their coach Darryl van der Velde said at half-time certainly worked. They put in a great effort this second half.
Castleford's last 2 substitutions of the day have just been made. Roebuck has come on for Beardmore, so Castleford will play out the match without a recognised hooker, and Ketteridge has come on for the skipper, John Joyner. French. Keeps it going, England. First touch for Roebuck, the newcomer. Steadman thought he'd stopped a try a couple of minutes ago. Belcher had other ideas. And that's the other substitute who's just come on. Ketteridge. High kick. Just went dead. So the Aussies have got the ball back. They'll restart with a tap on their own 22. We can go down to the trainer's bench now. And Mark McGaw, the Australian centre, is talking to Peter Hutton.
Well, Mark, I know it's ligament trouble. What exactly happened?
Well, I think it was when I tackled a player and I collided with one of my own teammates who went off with a few stitches, and I did the medial ligament there.
Glenn Lazarus' injury, I understand it's 17 stitches?
Well, it'd have to be that close, yeah, he had a few.
I mean, what's he feeling like in there?
Well, he's disappointed, but fortunately he can play next week, whereas I've got to miss a few weeks to strengthen this leg up.
So you're definitely out to the test match?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'll be lucky to play again on the tour, but I mean, the doctor hasn't had a full examination yet, so he'll let me know the good or the bad news tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you.
A disappointed Mark McGaw then, out of the test match next Saturday. So if Laurie Daly is fit, it looks like he'll play in the centres. And these two that you just saw combining there, Stewart and Lyons, would get our vote as the halfbacks. Our name, though, or Mike Stevenson's name, isn't Bobby Fulton.
That's for sure. Well, this game really getting a little bit scrappy. Come on, fellas.
Frustration, I think, the name of the game for Castleford. And Benny Elias just contemptuously waving away the touch judge, telling him to go off the field.
But this is a problem for them, Eddie, is that the Australians, for some unknown reason, are losing their composure.
Alan Langer has come on for the last couple of minutes, and Ricky Stewart has gone off. He's got 4 minutes to impress the coach, Alan Langer. I think Stewart has done the impressing, though. And Australia penalised for not allowing the Castleford man to regain his feet after the tackle. Brad Mackay, the guilty party. 15 penalties have gone Castleford's way, only 6 to the Australians. The penalty counts get horrendous by the week, don't they?
It happens to the English in Australia. I'll leave it at that.
3 minutes to go. Again, the ball is stolen by Elias. Look on the face of Mr. Elias. I don't think he agreed with that decision. Let's see.
Well, Elias, they're trying to get the ball. There it is. There's no doubt about it. No point in looking, Benny. But once again, we get back to that position in regards to the Australians. They're losing their composure. This is not a professional performance.
Great hope for British viewers. For next Saturday then, this is the test lineup, or thereabouts. And Castleford finishing strongly here. Here they come again. Meninga doing well, putting England under pressure, and not only that, coming up with the ball. But another penalty to the Australians, this time Meninga not being allowed to regain his feet by Paul Fletcher.
Well, there's no doubt about this. Meninga realises he's going to cup some for his corner, and that really was a lane. There you can see it. The referee has got no... He really has to give penalties away for that sort of play.
Elias then restarts on halfway. Bella at full stretch. Sirenen in similar vein. Manages to unload under pressure. Elias. Cartwright. Tried to get the pass away. And the two 15s, Kettridge and Langer. Kettridge comes out on top. This is St. John Ellis. Sidestepping one way, going nowhere. Langer and Elias bring him down.
Isn't it amazing, though, Eddie, that the myth that the English sides just fall apart after 55 or 60 minutes seems to have gone out of the window.
Yes, that's a good point. Early on in this tour, we saw them building steadily from 20 minutes to half an hour, and then up even to half-time. Then the white flag was raised. Such is the impact of that test victory at Wembley last Saturday. The British teams now know that the Australians can be beaten. Belcher makes a mistake, and there are 4 chasers after him, but he's got some pace, Gary Belcher. We were putting forward the claims of Greg Alexander for the Australians. If you were with us at Warrington on Wednesday, I don't think I'd play him full back. Team tackles all square today, but I don't think I would play Alexander at full back. Belcher, one of the best in the world. Within added time, the Australians have another win under their belt, but Castleford have stuck to the task gamely here. Halifax, next stop, Tuesday night for the Kangaroos. Ettinghausen collects. Is this the hat-trick? No, he's giving it away. Giving it away completely. That's Roebuck he passed to.
That was clever play by the Australians there. They knew that that was on. E.T. had the speed, but ruined it all by a bad pass.
Just playing out time, and the referee will have another word with his touch judge. I think we'll see why as we go into the second minute of added time.
Well, the 3-man in, and there the lock forward, Mackay. Thought that he'd just bury a bunch of 5s into there somewhere. Stupid fly.
And the young boys have come onto the pitch because the full-time siren has gone. It's another win for the Australians. Benny Elias has a word or two with one or two of the Castleford supporters. They want their photograph taken with Benny. But this is the way it's shaped up here at Weldon Road today. Tries from Ettinghausen, 2, Lindner, Shearer and Meninga. 4 goals from Meninga, 1 try for Castleford and just a couple of goals.